I lost everybody. What's going on here? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello? Yes? Oh, great.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Um, all right. Sorry about that little glitch. And Greg, I don't know, you must have went home at 90 miles an hour. That was amazing. You ended up there before me. All right. So, good evening. This is being recorded, right? All set to go. So welcome to this remote meeting of the Sixth-Town Regional Planning Board, being held this Thursday, February 26th. We do have a quorum. So in accordance with the House Bill 62 of 194 General Court, all the votes will be by roll call vote. And so let's go through. Greg Snedeker, Eating,
Yes.
and Alan Genovese is yes, and Ded Loomer is present,
Yes.
and Jane Dutcher,
Yes,
and Michelle.
Yes. Or here.
Yeah, yeah, and Pat Shear,
I'm here.
Bill Toom.
Yep.
We also have Mike Jackson in attendance here, and Kelly Skies is in attendance from the non-voting member from Irving. Thank you all for joining. We'll get right into our business. So, by the way, we welcome the people that anyone else that comes in to join us. If we do have any technical difficulties, we'll do our best to resolve them. And if we're not able to resolve them, we'll have to postpone it. We'll reschedule the meeting. So with that said, let's just jump into the agenda. Here. All right. So I will have to get you the minutes. I've done one set. I was in the middle of the second one. So I'm using the Greg had done it through AI, and I'm finding it does require some edits to make sure that it it actually reflects everything that we talked about. So expect those in the next 2 days. I apologize for not getting them out. Um, so the Six-Town Regional Agreement. This has been quite a journey. We think we're done. We have had several other meetings with we had, I think, one other meeting with the Mars Group, and then Greg and I have been meeting the last several times with just Christine Lynch and Michelle Griffin, and they really have been terrific throughout this process of catching things, raising questions, trying to make sure that this is right. She feels that this, along with our long range plan, regardless of the outcome, this is going to be an important document for others that decide to go down this path to face the challenges that they have, in their district. So they really are doing more than due diligence in ushering this through the process. Um, Greg has been really, really great about stepping up when they gave us another set of edits that they wanted to see, and some things moved around. So he was nice enough to jump in and address those. A big part of that was formatting and making things more consistent. One of the advantages to this process is we were able to look at the six-town and the five-town. And so we concurrently made the changes to those so that basically we're probably done the five-town document as well. And so those will be going off, I think, within the next couple of days to their legal counsel. Greg also sent them to Kevin Brosnahan, our legal counsel, to review. So barring any significant feedback, we think they're probably ready, unless there's cosmetic changes that they might suggest about a format issue or a comma or a period, because it's been that detailed. We think they're probably ready to go. I don't know how you want to proceed. I know you got them late. It's just trying to read through that document. If you've had a chance to do that, we can highlight that if you want to have Greg put it up on the screen and just sort of quickly walk through it. If you think that's helpful, we could do that. Thoughts? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs down doesn't mean you're against it. It just
Yeah,
means that you looked at it.
I'm happy to put it up on the screen, and we could go through the substantive, that's a hard
Yes,
word to say, changes that from the last time. It's not that much. A lot of it was
really.
just kind of wording, but we can kind of go over anything that was kind of a big change.
It looks nice.
Well,
Yeah.
well, thank you, Jane.
Yes.
Yes. Greg
Just
spent a lot of time trying to reformat and literally
I think
reformat.
that's important, and it's
oh yeah, it's definitely
very
important.
meaningful down the road when you need to refer to it.
Yeah.
No,
So
I
here,
wasn't, I
my
wasn't
late.
trying to be a wise guy.
I
I'll let you know
would
when
have
I
I
made
would
a
have
win.
enjoyed it either way.
Okay. Um, I would like that to know what the substantive changes
Sure.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yep.
I
me
suppose we
too.
should be reading it for just to see if we can find any spelling errors or
Hold on
whatever.
a second. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened here. Like, let me see if I can get this. Okay, there we go. I'm getting there.
Yeah, it's funny. When I print it out, it doesn't come out as pretty as on the screen. My printer does things differently. So one of the changes is right on the front page. Here's a quiz. What one word do you think had to be changed? Anybody? There was
As
the
far
word,
as what? Spelling?
no, just a word change.
Probably had to put in the word regional.
We had in regional and they said we are the regionalization planning board. It's a regional agreement, so that's the
Oh,
change on that page.
Ah,
Yeah,
oh, that's submitted by.
yeah,
uh,
yep.
Okay, we'll just kind of go through here. Nothing really, we had to update the page numbers because a few things got moved around. We had an appendix at the end for special legislation. Can people hear me? Did I leave my
Yes.
mic?
mhm.
Okay. Can't remember if I muted myself. Um, and nothing really, no
Hey,
changes.
Greg,
Yeah, sure.
sounds silly, but back on the appendix page,
Yep.
um, special legislation isn't lined up under the T.
It really is not. We're gonna fix that. How's that?
Oh, so then it's, yes.
Much better?
Just if you
Yeah.
were doing, I
Yep.
didn't want someone to catch you and say,
I appreciate that.
Uh-huh.
Is your name Christine Lynch or Michelle Griffin?
It's all good. All right, nothing new on this page.
So this is the sixth town. You'll notice that Warwick is in there. We're going through the sixth town. We'll do the five town in a minute.
Yeah. Section one, really no changes, I don't think, in this one. It kind of comes all later.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out mine.
Yeah. If you
to-
could, yeah, pull up your notes, I can
Yeah,
quickly go because this is a clean copy. I don't want to start getting into, where all the comments were and all that stuff.
yeah.
It's
So,
just confusing.
yeah, there's really nothing there. There was a parentheses that had to be removed. And the next page under
Just go for
elected,
just
yeah,
substance. That's it. So if there's
substance.
nothing that's of substance on these pages, then
Well, then
move
let me
on.
bring this general comment. Every time you see a section and a reference to the section, Greg had gone through the document to make sure everything tied to the right section because when
Like
he
here.
formatted it, it changed things around a little bit. And so where either numbers are added or letters, and so he had to make sure it referenced exactly. So that'd be an example.
All right. Keep going.
Yeah.
You
Section
let me
four
know when
is
there's
good.
like a
You're on
major
three is
change.
good. Four is good. Yeah, that was just a section change. Five is good. No changes. Six was just a reference change.
Wait, so
Seven,
five, the budget section is okay?
yep, yep,
Okay. Then hold on, let me just keep going.
yep.
Six,
Six was okay.
Oh, I caught something here.
Wait, let me go back to the budget a second. Oh, that's later. Let me get my
Okay.
other version. Give me one sec. I have another one that got marked up more.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about this formula going across pages. May have to fix that. So this here.
Yeah, one of the catches. So on 6, we had to make it clearer that we were talking about when we were doing the formula, that it was the fiscal year, the current fiscal year, and then the 4 preceding years. And we also had to fix that we didn't capture in the denominator that it was all the towns. It was the aggregate of the towns, rolling average. And so, so that was a significant change in terms of making sure that the numerator and denominator were
Right. Well, and
correct.
just to clarify, that's not a change in terms of how we understand it. It's just a change
Right.
in the terms that we didn't really state it correctly. And just so we know, 643, Deb Pody just came in,
Okay,
and Lindsay is now coming in.
perfect.
All right. Moving on.
Yep.
Section, wait,
7 is good. Just reference changes. 8 was good, just transportation. The amendments in 9 is good. Um,
it really came down to
Go on
most of it
to-
was in the timeline for
Back up.
in transition. Yeah. What's up, Jane?
I thought I saw something missing that was in my copy, but I think you're on a different page. Okay.
We're on section 9 amendments, and that's page 15 as far as the page number. It's probably page 16 in terms of PDF.
Oh, that's right. That's the other problem. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
I know. I know you know.
When I don't want people to mess with it, I send out a PDF. If I
I
trust you, I'll send you the document.
know.
So
All right, section 10.
I'm
Was there
just going
anything,
back to see my
any
notes.
substance there?
Uh, Section 10, no, that was just a couple of word changes.
Yeah. So it really comes down to
So now we're getting to the withdrawal. And I think they saw those. That was just removing coordination. And it needed to be clear. Let's see. No, that's good. Now we get into so one of the things is the ad hoc subcommittee was changed to be the ad hoc regional agreement.
You know where the TV channel clicker is, Rich? Sorry? The TV clicker?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So we have a subcommittee of the ad hoc regional agreement committee. And then we have another one at the end, which is going to be the subcommittee of the regional agreement review.
Where
because of
are
that.
we, Alan? What?
So we're on the section 13.
Oh,
Section
okay.
13 is with all
All right,
that
so
stuff
that was
starts.
11. Was there anything in 12? Just
Hey,
so
stop.
okay.
Hey, Deb,
Okay.
you're not muted, Deb. Just
Oh.
to
Sorry.
let you know.
Sorry.
Did he find the clicker?
We all want to know.
It did. I'm sorry. And my cat was scratching my rug. Sorry.
All right,
That's funny.
section 12 is okay. That was the one with the so right here we changed it to
Yeah, that's the
ad
regional
hoc
review.
regional agreement review subcommittee, so it's clear.
Yep.
But that's not really, that's not really any change.
Well, it isn't only that we had another subcommittee and we wanted to make sure we distinguished.
It's just a clarification.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where we do have like a substance that's changing in
Right.
transition period. And that was primarily because of timelines and legislation. So why don't we go over this if we want to quickly read through this. I mean, there's a lot to this.
Yeah,
Alan, do you want to like, should we zoom in on
yeah,
major changes on this?
yeah, let me look at. So what I did is, as we went through these sections, I have like 4 hard copy documents that have things
Yeah, I think
revised.
here,
So so I don't know.
why don't I take a quick stab at it though? I mean, the major change is that because if we're assuming that we're going to have a special town election ballot, and if that happens, it'll be in September. And there is there are time constraints on when school committees can have their candidates put on a November ballot. So it's got to go on 65 days ahead of time. And that will not be enough time between the September vote and November ballot to actually be able to put those school committees on the November ballot for elections. So the big change is that the transition school committee that will be appointed by the select boards and um, school committees will serve for the entire transition period of 2 years, including it will cross over into the first part of the operational uh, period starting in July 1st, 2028, because the elections have to be held on the biennial election, which means it won't happen until 2028 of November, which is fine because we're hoping that will actually produce more sort of continuity throughout the entire transition period and allow that committee to sort of get the operating school, the actual Great River School District off the ground. And then it will transfer power or authority to the elected body once they're seated in November.
So, Bill, you might appreciate this language change because before, if you remember, we had the appointed committee until the elected committee came into place, and when the elected committee came in, that they would serve until the transition committee became the school committee, and with all these elections and these things going along the way. This actually streamlined that whole process, and that if this is passed, the select boards and the school committees, and they don't have to be when they're appointing members, they don't have to be a member of a present school committee. So they may or may not be on a school committee. It could be anyone. And so once and we're hearing from, this ties together, we're hearing from our senator and representative that they filed the legislation. They had made it, or Representative Whips had made it specific for a 6th town, when what we were asking for is to have it on a ballot question in the 5 towns that didn't have ballot questions. So they're going to revise that, and in doing so, it actually kind of helps our process, in that when in a revision is made to uh, a filing, there's a more restricted timeline that it has to be acted on. I think she said it was 30 days. So it's very likely that we would be able to have the ballot being voted in September and at an election. So at
Why don't
that
we
point,
why
yeah.
don't we just see if anyone has any questions, or is that clear to everyone what the process is on that? It's partly just because of the biennial elections.
Mm-hmm.
So there wouldn't be anyone on the ballot in November in 26.
Yeah.
And the people that come on in 28 would be staggered the same way. The one to get the most votes 4 years, the next vote getter, it would be 2 years. And
And
so all
here's
that
something.
had to align.
Yeah, and I mean one thing to consider. This came up partly because of the there is that requirement of getting things on the ballot, and we also have to make sure we get the local questions that on the state ballot in September, because that's what we're planning on if it's going to be a special town election ballot vote. That has to be done, I think it's 35 days or 30 days prior. So we have to make sure we hit that deadline. Um, and then finally, Michelle Griffin and Christine Lynch had a interesting suggestion, which was they floated the idea of allowing Warwick to vote first. And so that would determine if they voted yes, then the towns would know they were voting on a six-town question. And if they voted no, that would sort of clarify that they were voting on the five-town. And that made a lot of sense to us. Now, how we work out, the timing of that, still remains to be seen. But that would, clarify. You could still have two questions on the ballot, but it sort of simplifies if Warwick went first within that short amount of time frame for setting up those election votes. That would sort of help clarify whether or not the rest of the towns would be voting on a five or six town.
I
Does that
do
make sense?
now I'm confused.
Yeah.
You're talking about a September election and a November election.
Well, here's the thing, Jane. So the September election would be the ballot questions, meaning the towns vote whether or not to regionalize. So you cannot put candidates, you're not going to put candidates on a November ballot unless you know whether or not
Right.
this regionalization is happening. And that does not give us enough time to do that.
Right.
And we've heard from all the towns, they do not want to hold a special town election ballot, in the middle of the summer. They prefer to have it on the September. It reduces the amount of special town elections because there's a lot in Montague right now, and each one costs thousands of dollars. So it makes sense to have a goal of September to hold the vote. But that does not give us enough time to be able to run candidates for school committee for an elected, if let's say it passes, we don't have enough time to actually
Right.
hold an
But so
election.
why are you talking about a November election?
Well, no, I wasn't. I'm saying that not an election. Remember, the special election ballot vote is in September. The November election is too short of a time period afterward to be able to have elected school committee members for the new district if it passes.
Okay, we all understand that.
Yeah, that's it. That's all.
So when you mention November, you're talking about 2 years from now when
Correct.
you will elect
Right. That's right. So
permanent, temporary members, whatever.
correct. The appointed transition school committee would serve for over 2 years. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to share a comment right at this
Sure.
point. At our select board meeting, our last select board meeting, the town clerk came in and made a recommendation which was adopted. And this is the recommendation: that we have early voting for this special election and that we have mail-in ballots so that as many people as possible can vote on this question. And the whole thing was phrased so that if this legislation passed, then this is what they're going to do.
Mhm.
If the legislation didn't pass, then she had another scenario. But I was delighted that our town clerk took that initiative.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Hmm.
We can pass that on to the other towns too, to see if they, would want to follow suit.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
That idea.
Great suggestion and great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the gist of all this language was simplified to make it clear that the people, when there is an election for the Great River Regional School District, would happen in November of 28, and that the people, if it passes, then in September, then they'll get appointed and they'll serve a couple of years, which kind of makes a lot of sense to have that continuity. And
I
is there,
think you'll get better. I think you'll get more interest in doing that. Why would you want to sign up for serving for 2 months?
Right.
Mhm.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you get more say, there's more agency.
Right.
And you know, you get to see it through, even through through the beginning, where the kickoff of the new district would be. So I think that would be satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all those language changes really summarizes everything we just
Yeah,
talked
and
about.
like, you know, where you see that is we took out, so will serve, they shall serve until the next biennial election, which means that the only one that is legal would be the 2028 one.
Right. So the other change, well, or just not really change, but something to um, keep in mind is the school becomes operational in July 1. And so the transition committee, who has all the powers of a school committee, follows that through as the school opens until the election. And it may be the same people or different people.
Right. And this is, we included that in the powers of the appointed transitional school committee. So they have that power to, you know, to also hire a superintendent for the position. And
Aren't you going to have a superintendent for the transition period?
yes, but they're still going to have to run they'll still have to run a search for a permanent position.
So you would hire a superintendent for the transition period and then you do another hiring process for
Yep.
July 1 of
That's
2028?
legally we have to.
Legally,
Yeah.
but you
And
wouldn't have to do a large search. You could just do a small
yeah,
search.
and that transition superintendent might apply.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really the main change in this, and
Yeah.
we were kind of hoping that other than
So
that,
where
it's
did,
real.
back up a second. Where does it say the transition committee hires a superintendent for the transition period?
Well, that is that they have to for the transition period anyway. So that I don't think it has to be. Remember, this is for this. Well, it's a good question. I mean, I don't think it needs to be in the regional agreement because I think they're vested with the powers once
Yeah.
because once the towns vote in affirmative, right, and we've already laid out the appointment of this, then they are the authority to be able to hire, you know, a transition superintendent and a transition
Is it
you know,
covered
person.
in maybe it's covered in mass general law?
Would it do any harm to put it in there? Oh yeah, the power to hold on, go down.
Well, they
All
do have
right,
the
on
powers
A.
to, oh, here it is, here it is
Yeah,
right here.
let's
Yeah, so
see.
it is in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Sorry about that. Has the power to employ interim superintendents, treasurer, chief financial officer, and so on. Yep.
That
Says
makes me
that.
feel better.
Me
It does
too.
me too. I just forgot it was in there.
Yeah.
My eyes are going crossed after looking at this for so many.
I don't know how you can forget anything after all the months you spent with this.
Well, because I've sort of switched it into editing mode, so I'm looking more towards, you know, grammar and that kind of stuff. So
All right.
it's easy to forget some of this stuff.
I just want to pick at you.
So
And then anything in here, Alan, relationship between the transition school committee and former regional school committee?
that's the
Again,
same.
it's the
That was the
same.
same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing new here. Agreement effective date. Operational date is 7/1/28. I feel like we should put 2028 in there. And
So go back to the up
I-
there a little bit. So there were a couple paragraphs that were there. Go to special, no, go down to just
yeah,
before.
I think it was in here. And then we put the special legislation in, right?
Right. So we had, no, keep going. No, it was right above. No, go to all the signatures. Just above the signatures. Yeah, back up a little bit right there. So there were two paragraphs that were pretty extensive there. One of them pretty much quoted what the law would be. And 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 Desi had indicated that it probably shouldn't be in the context of the regional agreement. It should probably be as an addendum because the wording of that may change a little bit. And so that was probably good advice. So this is a reference to it. And then if you go to scroll down to the end of the signature or right to the right there. So then this is they didn't want us to quote things. So it was worded that, the intent of the legislation shall be worded as such as, and then this is like paraphrasing. And then if you scroll down more, there was the actual
Here the
the
legislation.
legislation. So that they were probably right not to, don't put it in the regional agreement, have it there so people would,
So it's there as an appendix and not actually in the agreement.
right.
And we got to push this down again. How'd that happen? Why is
Well,
my formatting getting all messed up, Alan? What are you doing?
on this, no, long range player is probably really messed up now because of the last paragraph I had in the middle of it.
All right, so that's basically it. I mean, the main thrust of the changes were in the transition and getting the timing and the appointment of the school committee and the election of the permanent school committee. That was really the only sort of major change.
Yeah.
So if everybody's okay with it, we could vote it barring any,
Yeah, contingent upon no
any sort of
significant
grammatical
material.
errors or, that Desi may find. Um, and, if there's anything that's, of
Any
substance,
substantive or material
yeah,
differences we would bring
we would
back.
bring back, but I don't expect any. And
I'll make a
we'll
motion.
keep working on the editing. Huh?
I'll make a motion to approve the 6-town regional, Great River Regional School District Agreement.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, let me come off screen sharing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll do any other discussion.
Yeah, I
Okay,
just
yeah,
want to say, I originally thought that the paragraph about assigning the new school committee was based on the select boards and the school committee members of each additional town deciding who amongst them, that being the school board members, would be on the transitional team.
that's correct.
And the reason I thought that was because that would create great continuity going through the transitional period from each additional district leading into the combined districts. The way it's worded there not only suggests, but I think it says that the members of the transitional school committee can actually be anybody from the community. Did I misread that?
It
Or
can,
is that true? Or is that a
yeah,
good bad
it can
thing?
be. That's an option, Bill. That it's not going to be necessarily just school committee members, although that's recommended to have the school committee and the select boards, because I mean, remember that you're going to be pulling double duty for whoever sits on the transition plus the school committee. So we're opening it up. I thought that was understood that we were opening it up for they can jointly recommend. It could be like someone that sat on the school committee, like 2 years ago and has a lot of experience, and they can say, this person is open to being appointed, and if they agree on it, they could appoint that person. So it's not just current school committee members.
Well, a counterpoint to my statement also is that what if all the current members of the committee say no, they don't want to be on the transitional? Then you do have to, so congratulations, you do have to open it up to the community at
Yeah,
large.
And that's another reason to open it up to the committee.
Yeah, and the other
Sorry,
thing,
the
Bill,
community.
is, there's only 2 or 3 from each town, and so maybe 2 committee members or one committee member, says, I don't want to do it. I'm already doing that.
Right.
Well, when they meet with the Board of Selectmen and they have that discussion, there may be someone in the community from that community that says, I want to do it.
Right.
You got my point, Alan. Very good.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, so roll call vote. Greg,
Yes.
Alan Genovese says yes. Deb,
Yes.
Homer, Jane,
Yes,
Michelle,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
OT.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Okay, so the,
Five Town, you want to look at that?
yeah, why don't we do
I would like
that
to
one
make it,
next?
I
You want to
would
wait?
like,
We can wait on the Five Town.
no, I would like to make a comment on the 5 town right off the bat. Add up the committee members. I get 10.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
That's
No.
why we can wait on the Five Town if we need to.
Maybe I'm adding it up wrong. I was just
No, that has to be
looking
an
at it
edit problem.
quickly.
That must have been because the whole point was that if Warwick was not going to be in the
Right.
district, we
Northville
would
had 3.
that Northfield would have 3.
Oh, North.
Yeah,
Maybe
Instead
I
of 2.
didn't add that up right.
Yeah.
All right.
I went over
Because
and
I
over
was
that.
thinking, why wouldn't Leiden have 2?
Because Northfield got it. Sorry.
Well, I was thinking just because Warwick doesn't have theirs, Northfield gets an extra one?
Well, it's partly because there's to sort of look at the population in terms of percentages.
Yeah.
We were, there was a little bit of
Yeah, you're right.
underrepresentation in Northfield
Gotcha.
and Montague. Montague is still sort of underrepresented
Right.
in terms of population, which was nice of them to agree to that. So we thought, where does it make sense to maintain that balance of power in terms
Gotcha.
of making all towns feel like they have agency, but you don't, you're not going to get Montague that can just kind of control the vote. So that's sort of what made sense.
I think I didn't scroll to the next page. Is what happened, and I didn't add Northfield.
Yeah, shall I
Sorry.
you want me to put the 5 down up then?
Yeah.
I just checked it and it's correct.
Yeah, it is. I didn't go to the next page.
Hold on. You got
But that
I
one
was
was
trying
wrong.
to reread everything really quickly. I read it once and then I just wanted to look again.
Oh, I just closed the wrong one. Oops, hold on a second. Oh boy.
So I guess the easiest way to read through this is just tell us which paragraphs are different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's pretty straightforward. Okay. Here we go. So,
Well, I go back to your title page. You didn't say regionalization.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
If you're looking
Okay.
there,
Yeah.
there it is.
Thank you.
Sorry, that's in the name is regional school district, but
I guess that's what my eye saw.
yeah. So really
So I
nothing
have the
new.
one that got marked up. So obviously the
and you'll notice like in the
Warwick is crossed out.
yeah, well, no, it's not crossed out, it's just eliminated.
Well,
It's crossed out in your
Right. I'm
your-
looking at my notes now
yeah.
on all the,
Basically, Warwick is removed out of these sections. Is there what would be like a change of substance? The school committee is one, the school committee makeup, which here is right here.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
the only change is
Yeah, so there was a,
and
that
it's really
change
based
there.
on
Yeah.
based on population.
Right. And then on item, Jane, let me just point this out. So you did get included in both the documents when we look at section 4, where in the second paragraph under leases, Warwick is crossed out. But then you have mutually agreed on this, the respective member towns shall be consulted before any capital project is undertaken to mutually agree on the best course of action. So that's in, that made it in both. On the next page, you had Warwick Community School was removed. Oh, here's a substantive change. So in the closing of a school, any reference to option A, there was an option A and an option B. But the option B was designed really specifically for, with Warwick in mind.
So is this section, what section is this?
So this is section,
5, 6, 4?
this is section. It is 4.
Yeah, 4E.
4 is
Okay,
very
gotcha.
long.
Yeah. So that was a substance change there.
So, so you have the, this ad hoc, feasibility subcommittee. And then you have all of section B, which was, school closure option B. And option B was after 2 consecutive years, if this enrollment was, at a certain amount, it included just resident students, it had a different process to go through. There were 3 paragraphs, they're all gone. So it really has streamlined the closure process. There's a very nice process to that, where things had to be done, where representation is on the town, where they were considering the school that would be closed. I think they had 2 votes, and then there was somebody from each of the other towns. And the public hearing would be in the town where it would close. So I actually I like that.
Still has the same high threshold, though. The
Yes,
vote
it
shall
does.
require 3/4 vote, which is at least 10 members of the full committee. So
Yeah.
it's a very high threshold.
Yeah, and then all the other things I'm looking at were generic to the 6th town.
Well, is
Let's
there
see.
anything in the, like, I mean, the budget is pretty much the same. The assessments play out
Yeah,
with the 5 town instead of 6. But the apportionment is, the same in terms of foundation enrollment, rolling foundation.
yeah,
Let's see.
and it just constant strike throughs every time
Yeah, the
there's something to Warwick.
apportionment and payment of costs incurred, but that got easier because you didn't have this municipal district.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I'm
and
just going through seeing all the strikeouts.
transportation costs go down because Warwick's so far. I think I'm voting for the 5 town. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and any reference to Warwick was called the former local school committee, or the municipal school committee. That was always just Warwick. So
Yeah.
this one is simplified. It's just 2 regional agreements, which was originally, when we
Yes.
started out, that's what they were. They were 2 regional school districts.
So a lot of things have been sort of simplified because of that. Amendments
Yeah.
is the same process, really. Admissions of additional member towns is the same process. So if Warwick wants to come in, there's a way. Withdrawal of member towns procedure. Okay, I'm going to clean this up. I think so. I'm going to push that to the next page. So
Yeah, when I printed this out, it was really wonky. On
yeah,
actually, when it even came up on the screen, to what you sent out was
I don't know why it seems like things got moved around because
yeah. Well,
I had
I think it's only on this document you shared, because the one that we did together doesn't have all these things. I mean, even on the opening page, I had the agreement, and then it picked up section 1 on the same page as the agreement between the towns that it said. So
okay. Well, anyway,
don't play around with this version too much. Go to the one that we have saved
okay.
in our shared folder.
Well, this isn't the shared folder, Alex. That's why I'm very confused.
Well, that's right. Yeah, but you're gonna notice it's
Well, I mean, printing it out
lands totally
and
differently.
looking at it in Google Docs is 2 different things. So,
yeah.
especially if you convert it to a PDF. All right, is there anything in here as far as any difference as far as the appointed versus elected? It's all the same process because nothing in the timeline has changed. So we kind of went over that on the six town
Yeah.
regional agreement. So that everything
Yeah.
is pretty much the same. The process is the same. So nothing really of substance. It's just Warwick is removed, and all the same powers are bestowed on the transition school committee.
Yeah,
So-
stuff like the ad hoc committee, instead of having 6 members, has 5 members, one from each town and so forth. So, um, yeah, so
So nothing really has changed. And we even clarified here, will continue to serve until the biennial election, November 2028. So it's clarified there.
yeah,
Back up just a section there and right
Sure.
there. Do you still need school administration of the local and regional? Because now you only have regional.
That's a great catch.
that's a good one, Bill.
Nice going, Bill. Appreciate that.
I'm getting old.
Yeah.
District has to be capitalized there?
Yes, we've been doing that across all
Okay, just curious.
districts, regional districts, all capitalized.
Did we want to have regional and school capitalized?
We could.
I think we did. I think,
Yeah, we could
yeah,
do that.
we did. We
Yeah.
did.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's partly just because we refer to them that way up in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
So we want to keep it consistent.
Yeah.
Good catch, Bill.
Yeah,
You're
that
getting older,
is.
you're getting sharper.
I can't believe I missed that. Oh my God. Ah,
We're gonna find stuff. Trust me. That is not gonna be the last one we find. So, and I got to get back in here and do some more formatting stuff because it looks like it got off a little bit.
yeah.
Okay. Other than that, I think that's it. I mean,
Yeah. So it's in good shape. We remove Warwick from the signature. The other thing we did on both documents is, and I think Deb.
Wait.
we gotta get,
So Warwick on page 23.
yeah, right
Yeah,
here.
right
Did you,
there.
that paraphrase, did you mean to get rid of that, Alan? You did these today, so
Yeah,
I
wait a minute. Um,
probably what screwed up my formatting.
yeah, show dissolve. Yeah, you can get rid of that. And get rid of school. Yeah, so it just says, because it was supposed to say the regional school districts. And then scoot up above, make sure I
So it would just say "and" in there.
Gilmontague and Pioneer Valley.
Yeah.
Shall continue to exist.
Can you scroll up a little bit and make sure I didn't, let me see.
I don't think you should be taking out regional school districts after Gilmontague. They'll probably want the full name in there.
They do.
Mhm.
Don't I have that?
No,
Oh, yeah, it
it
needs to
says
be in there.
Gilmontague.
Yeah.
Gilmontague Regional School District
Yeah.
and Pioneer Valley
Regional school
Regional
district. Yeah.
School District
Yeah.
shall continue to exist.
It's funny. I did that above. I didn't do that below.
Well, again, I am not expecting this to be the final, but I mean, no more substantive changes is what we're going for.
Right.
That's what we're voting on, not, grammatical and little,
Yeah.
Yeah, and just if Kevin comes back and he says, in our appendix, this is once we get his feedback, if he says this needs to be worded this way, this is the way I'm going to do it. We're just
Well, the
going
one thing,
to we'll
yeah, we
take
should-
that and put it in there.
I was going to say we're going to need to change if this is is this the 5 town stuff?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
legislation for the 5 town? Okay, good. All right, I just want to make
Yeah.
sure we had those changed.
Yeah, and Deb, you had mentioned it'd be good to have it alphabetical, so the towns should be alphabetical in the signatures.
Yeah, so I mean, if people are okay with the substance, I mean, I'm gonna still work on. I noticed there's some formatting stuff. I don't want to make people dizzy scrolling here, so I mean, we can vote the district. I mean, the regional agreement as it is. If there's any substance
Yes,
changes,
same as we did.
we'll bring it back for another vote.
Greg, the only other time, just because Alan just said that Deb mentioned this about the signatures being alphabetical, do you think when you list out like the school committee members, how many from each town, the town should be alphabetical, Bernardston,
Yeah, we
Gill.
could do that.
Just if you're
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
it alphabetically at the
Yep.
bottom, just
No, that makes
being
sense.
consistent.
Yep.
I think the reason they weren't, Deb, was because we did the towns for one district and then we did the towns for the other district.
Right.
And
and it
so
looks
now
like
that we're
you're
one district, yeah, let's
Yeah,
just,
but we don't,
yeah,
we can do, I like the
Yeah.
alphabetizing. It's better.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
both documents.
But I think we're pretty much there, other than minor,
Yeah, you'll find a couple if you run the spell
Oh,
check.
absolutely.
I
And
just did that, but I'm not gonna make you do it now. You run,
no, and I can do a spell check on it too. I haven't like run the final sort of
and
spell check.
I ran a grammar check, and that came up pretty clean.
Yeah, I mean the other thing I can do is
Yeah.
take a copy of it and run it through AI and see if it'll format it even better.
Nah, don't
Oh, I
do
wouldn't.
that. No,
Oh, no, a copy, not the
Oh,
original.
okay.
Jesus, people,
Uh,
calm down.
by the way, the cover page agreement between the towns of Bernardston, Gill, Lyman, the very cover page, that's all alphabetical. So that
That is-
that will now be consistent through the whole document.
Yeah, we're in good shape though.
So I would entertain a motion that we approve the 5-town regional agreement contingent
moved.
upon no substantive changes.
That was Michelle
So
moved.
moved.
Okay. And,
Second.
and Dorinda.
Hi, Dorinda, you're back.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. Any other conversations? Bill, you get the gold medal.
I know.
Greg,
Yes.
Alan Genevieve says yes. Deb
Yes.
Boomer. And Jane Dutcher.
Yes,
And Michelle Girosa.
Yes.
And Pat Shear.
Yes.
And Bill Toon.
Yes.
And Dorinda Bellup.
Yes.
And Deborah Potee.
Yes.
And
I think that's it.
yeah, that's everyone. By the way, I invited Lindsay McCarthy here. She did a lot on the beginning of this, and now we're getting ready to start launching things. People are like, "What's going on? We haven't heard from them." And so we'll once we get these two things finalized, which is going to be very soon now, we can get them on the website. We can start really having a full court press of
Getting the information out.
back of getting stuff out in various forms and writing articles and so forth. So okay, the long range plan. Greg has been working quite a bit responding to Desi's feedback and formatting and including the pieces that they wanted. Hi, Lindsay. And so it's almost ready. We thought we might be able to have it ready for tonight, but there was so much detail going on with the other two documents that he hadn't I think he has finished. He wants to go back and look at it one more time. So I think he's going to do that, Greg, over the weekend and maybe beginning of next week or so.
I
he'll
may
get-
send it. I may send it out this weekend if I feel like it's there. So
And then that's the last thing that Desi, we've got to set up one more meeting with him, right? To do that or
well, I mean, they'll send it to legal review next when we because they now have a copy of it.
not the long range plan. Not
No,
the long
no,
range
no,
plan.
no. I'm talking about the regional agreement.
Right.
And so that'll go to legal review. I'm sure Michelle and Christine will take one more pass at it for any sort of grammatical stuff, which is fine, but they'll probably pass it on to legal. And then with the long range plan, I'll send it to them hopefully this weekend. They'll review it and get back to us to see if there's any last little changes. And then you and I will then get passed to the DESI commissioner to have a meeting with him to go over it all. So he's up to speed on it. And then we go into our full court press of getting the information out there.
Yep. And along those lines, the next thing you should have received was the request for quotes for a consultant. So Joanne has was sent to Joanne. Joanne is looking for some of the names of people that we may have in mind for her to send it to. So I would really ask all of you to have conversations with folks, reach out to people, see if there's anyone that is interested in at least getting it and reviewing it. Really the two major pieces are to look at framing our answers to questions so that it is easy and understandable and objective. And the other piece will be to look at our website and keep in the loop as we frame questions and answer questions and put up what people had been looking for answers. We would like them to be involved in that. So those are the two pieces. It will probably end up being March, April, and May, and probably maybe a little bit of June. So could you please forward any names once you talk to folks about that? And we've got a couple of leads, so we'll send those out. We put down, what was it, 4 months, I think it was, and several hours during the week. We don't think it's going to take a lot of time for someone to be doing this. And the other part is I'm glad we had money left because we're really going to be leaning into more of the legal services for the preamble, summary to each of the warrant articles, to the special legislation, to the ballot question. So he will be taking the lead on that. That was a question that Senator Comerford asked, who'd be doing that. And we let her know that we're going to have our attorney work on that aspect. So we do have money available for that. Wow, we get a lot done. I wanted to just quickly touch on when our next meeting would be. Greg is not available on
I'm away the 4th, March 4th through the 15th.
right, and our next meeting was scheduled for, I think it was the 4th. So, I thought we might have to reschedule the meeting.
Well, the next meeting was scheduled for March 11th,
Right.
but
Oh, that's
I mean,
right.
that was a tentative one. I think, I mean, the nice thing is if we were looking at a vote in September, we're in good shape to get the information out there and really be able to inform all our residents about, what this is about. So that's the good news. We've got a good 6 months, which I think is great.
Well, we've got to build back a momentum
Oh, for sure. No, and I mean, it doesn't mean we can be relaxed. It just means that we've got a good 6 months now, which is good.
So how do people feel about the 18th, which is a Wednesday, instead of the 11th, the 18th?
Of March.
Of March.
Is it a Wednesday? Because that's
It-
always tough for me.
I'll
Yeah,
be
I
on a
can't do
plane
Wednesdays.
again.
I can't. Yeah, I've got a select board meeting on that night.
How about on Tuesday, the 17th? Well, you're just getting back on the 15th, right?
Yeah, I mean, Tuesday's St. Patrick's Day, which is okay with me. I mean, I can do that.
Or it could be the 19th. Michelle, is that a school committee meeting, March 19th for you?
I've got a guild budget meeting.
No, but I'll be in Florida again. That's all right.
All right. Bill, how about Tuesday, the 17th? Is that a school committee meeting?
I don't think so.
All right,
I
why don't
won't
we
be
run
able
with
to
that?
make it, but
All right,
They
6:10
could all wear
regional.
green.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're not going to meet on the 11th. We are going to meet, we hope, on the 17th. I am just so, I don't know, impressed, pleased that we have people that are still engaged, giving feedback, participating, helping us move this along. If it wasn't for your support, I'm not sure I would still be hanging in there. So thank you for that. It's
And I was,
appreciated more than you realize.
I will say too that knowing what's happening in the school budgets, knowing that we're seeing more decline in our enrollments, that I think, people are going to be listening and people are going to be opening their eyes a little bit more to what our work is, revealed.
Yeah,
No,
and
you're
just
absolutely right. This next year is shaping up to be very challenging for
Yes, it is.
both districts,
Yep.
as
And
well as
A lot of
the towns.
Well, as well as the tech school. I just came
Yeah.
from their
Well,
presentation.
I shared that with Greg and with Alan.
Yeah.
Tech school, has shifted to a lottery. I should probably put my video on to a lottery system, and they announced the numbers that they accepted. They were shooting for 170 students. They accepted every single student who applied, 166, which clearly means there are not enough students out there. So if they took everyone, regardless, they didn't ask, because I work at Greenfield High School, and typically they would ask for attendance, grades, behavior. A lottery system, they're not allowed to get all that information, but I guess they could have asked for it. They didn't. So they took everybody, regardless of their attendance, grades, behavior. And it wasn't a lottery. They're desperately looking for more students to fill their school. So.
Yeah, and what was interesting was, I mean, I was at their budget presentation tonight in Gill, and I had to leave early to get to this meeting. But they were, they were $800,000 deficit going into next year. So they had to make cuts to teachers. So it's hitting all the districts, including tech.
Yeah, and one of the,
The state is the one that required them to go to a lottery system. That
Right.
wasn't their idea. That was state requirement.
Yep.
yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So-
So ironically, or maybe not so, we've been living here for a long time and we've seen this, the articles in the paper, we've seen the cuts to districts, both in good times and in bad times. But we've heard this and that was one of the reasons when Mike Sullivan said, geez, we keep cutting programs, but we keep increasing, the money to support what we have. That's not new to us. So when I see articles that are in the paper like, oh, this is devastating, this is, which it is. I mean, anytime you make cuts, but it's for one district, it's not new. We've been living with this for a long time, and we're trying to come up with a solution that's going to help kids. And if we're spending about the same amount of money to give kids so much more, then I think that's the bottom line for me personally.
I mean, yeah, the only thing I would add too is, I mean, it's not new. The only thing that changed really was during COVID, we had some of this masked because we had a lot of federal money coming in. We could offset budgets. We could, backfill capital needs that we had through ARPA and things like that. Now that that money has kind of run its course and we don't see more federal money coming in, it's just kind of postponed the inevitable, which is what we're seeing now. So, it's not really a surprise to those of us who've been working in town halls, but we're seeing sort of, in the papers as if the community's surprised, but I think it's, just the attention spans probably have forgotten where we were in like 2017, 18, and 19.
Yeah.
So,
And probably everyone here is familiar with the word cliff. We've been talking about there's a cliff, and now we're hearing, even in our conversation with Christine Lynch and Michelle, the cliff is here. And, it did mask it because we had that money to be able to almost make it invisible to the communities of what was going on. So I think it's important that we have an article around that so people understand that, no, we didn't all of a sudden have this new thing happen. It was happening. We just weren't experiencing it because there was offsets to the town's budget and our budgets.
yeah, and we're still seeing declining enrollment. I mean, I was kind of surprised with Gil Montague lost about 45 students. And that was structural. I mean, that was brought up in our presentation. It wasn't, because of choice. It was just kind of just a structural decline in enrollment again. So
Well,
anyway,
I think it's important for us to know, and we'll have to look at this, is where are those kids going? you know, was it school choice? Was it charter, or was it a vast majority going to the tech school? You know, where did they just graduate and, they would have been gone anyways? So
Or
have
not
to-
a lot of babies born.
That's
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
that's the reality.
That's the
really-
reality.
It's,
Yeah.
it's not choice or charter, it's babies.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's babies.
All right. I think, does anyone else have anything that you
Uh,
would like to see on the next agenda?
I think we'll have an update for, for the our
Special
solicitation.
legislation.
Well, maybe I don't know, but as far as filling a position for doing some of the web work.
There'll be that,
and
and there'll be the
communication.
long range plan.
Yeah.
And if people could maybe give feedback, send any
Yeah, I'll
comments
try to
after you
get
read
the
it.
I'll try to get the long range plan out as soon as possible. Hopefully this weekend. And
It's
then
a
you'll have-
long range plan because it's got many pages.
Yeah.
It's a long read.
Yeah.
So, all right.
right.
Well, I'll entertain a motion then to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
That's Jane and Michelle. And it is 7:38.
Yep.
And I'll do a roll call vote. Greg Sedeker.
Yes.
And Alan Genovese is a yes. And Deb
Yes.
and Jane,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Pat,
Yeah.
Bill,
Yes.
Dorinda Bell,
Yes.
Oh.
and Deb Potee.
Yes.
All right, Dorinda Bella.
All right.
And all right, and Lindsay, if she's still here, she's not here. I'm going to give her a call. All right, so thanks everybody, and stay warm, stay safe, and if you can, stay put.
Thanks again.
Greg,
right, take
Careful
care.
shoveling.
Yeah.